Peace, brother. Eloh Kush. Welcome
Peace.
aboard, man.
Spit Gemz. What it is, my brother, my comrade. What's happening with you, G?
Cooling, brother. Maintaining, man. Yo, I wanted to say is we definitely appreciate you taking the time to do this, man.
Oh man, I'm honored to be on the platform, and I think this is a better way to do things when you link with people who have authenticity in this art form, who understand what it is that we truly doing, what our mission statement is. No matter what side of the coin we on, we still have perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good instead of like some UFO who doesn't really understand the art form or the culture. You know what I'm saying, God? So that's
Right
where
in the
we at
chat.
with it. You know what I mean?
That's peace right there. That's peace. And yo, speaking of taking the time, man. MC, producer, designer and fashion ambassador,
Yeah,
published author,
yeah,
community activist.
yeah.
I'm sure I'm probably missing a few, but all these different hats you wear seem to be shining jewels in your crown.
Mm,
I mean, now, and this is all beautiful work, man, and this is the reason why I reached out, you know what I mean? Because it's extremely impressive, brother.
true indeed.
But if I had to ask you a question without you telling me your name or referencing any of your occupations or professions, who are you?
I am the original man. You know what I'm saying? I am the indigenous original man. I am a servant of a divine order. I am a participant and 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 lover of our culture, which is hip hop. Um,
Beautiful.
I'm also I'm also always constantly striving for perfection. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm striving for the best way to provide, to sustain, to protect, to build and destroy for myself and my foundation and my family. Consistent. That's where I'm at. And also the main goal I am is the best affirmation period. When you say I am, that's everything after that is up for me. So I am progressing towards legacy. That's what's most important for me. Legacy right now. Legacy, catalog, and I'm striving for 2,000 years from now, my name pops up somewhere. That's what I'm doing.
That's amazing, brother. That's amazing. Now, on this platform, right, on my show, what I like to do is I like to ask some of the deeper questions right off the bat,
Okay?
right? So this is one of my favorite ones, especially for brothers such as yourself, who I know are, well advised and in tune with literature and their
Yes,
surroundings.
sir.
What would you say? What would you say the word religion means to you?
The spell of sleep, the spell of mental slavery, the spell
Mm,
of um it's a dividing force amongst us. You know what I'm saying? It's not a unifying force. Religion breeds ignorance and racism in the core of it.
mm,
In the core of it. Because spirituality is a whole different science, but religion breeds racism and ignorance. Quick prime example, if you and I or you and I somewhere spit we at after the show we did somewhere, we sitting down at the bar, we having a sip, or we just standing outside, we get into a conversation with some people. If these people are one religion and I'm a different religion, instantaneously in here somewhere, there's a divide. Even though
instantly.
there's no friction, but there's a divide. They feel like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because you labeled yourself in the science of a person or a place or a thing. That's what religion is. It captivates. And I don't knock anyone's anything. I'm just saying that
Not
I'm
at
just
all.
answering the question in true.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. We don't knock any religions on this platform. We don't do
Anybody.
none of that. But what we do is we allow everyone to speak their exact truth and exactly how they feel and how
Absolutely.
they view and perceive these issues.
Absolutely.
That was a beautiful answer, though. I appreciate it, brother.
Hmm.
Now, I happen to know, obviously, you a published author,
Yeah.
right? but I happen to also know that you're an avid reader, a lover of literature.
Absolutely.
What would you say? What would you say is one of the most important pieces of literature that you've come across on your travels?
That's very hard, Spit, to say that. And uh, I would say, I would say, can I give you two?
Absolutely.
Okay. I would say The Holy Tablets by Dr. Malachi Z. York.
Okay.
Um, and specifically in that tablet, there's the chapter that speaks a book, which he's made to a book. It's called The Mind. The Mind. And that book is powerful. So literature, I would say that if we talk about information, that's a good one. But then on the flip side, if we're just talking about just particular jewels, I mean, just like current reading, I would have to say that's hard for me to say. You know what I mean? Like, but I would say I'm just gonna pick a book out of my brain right now. I like. I'll say. I'll say. I'll say The Alchemist right now. That's what I'm reading.
Beautiful.
Well,
That's a beautiful book.
rereading anyway. And I know both of those are
No
information
doubt.
information books, you know, but that's where I'm at. I have a plethora of different books, so I can also say, okay, shit, uh, anything that James Baldwin has written, his collection of poems.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No
Like,
doubt.
because it's all information. That's what I enjoy. I do read for leisure.
For sure.
If I'm reading leisurely, I like novels by Eric Jerome Dickey. Um, um, anything Sister Sol her trilogies of books by Sister Soldier, and
All classic.
uh uh any The Hobbit, which is now what you call the Lord of the Rings.
That's some incredible writing, man. I got a book on the psychology of Tolkien. It's heavy, man. For
Absolutely.
sure. For
Well,
sure.
there's a plethora.
Yo, but going back to The Alchemist, man, that it's a popular book amongst readers for sure, but it's not as popular as one would still believe. Yeah, Paulo Coelho. Peace to that brother, man. I'm not sure if you are aware of his life story or how much you've dug into that,
Hmm.
but just his life saga is incredible, man.
Absolutely.
Everything that he went through leading up to writing that book right there.
Absolutely.
But yo, excellent choices, brothers. Speaking of books though, man,
Hmm.
let's talk about A Few Days in the County
Hey,
Days.
oh man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad that you're aware of that, beloved. Um, that collection of stories and essays is written by myself as I was going through a phase of rebelling against the system. You know what I'm saying? So they gave me the judge because I stood on my square and I won. Technically, he got you know he got upset and gave me obstruction of justice. And the obstruction of justice for a first time offense is usually a fine. The maximum they can give you is 30 days. For the first time offense, he gave me the max. Right. So so as an artist, as you know, as you're an artist, if you can't create, it's like you in a coffin. You know what I'm saying? If you can't record, you can't get on stage. It's like what the you know what I'm saying? Like so
Right.
my creative process, instead of dying, I let it blossom a different way. So I just wrote uh, a tremendous amount of experiences, and what I strove to do in that situation, what I was striving to do, correcting myself, what I was striving to do is to give you those experiences as raw as possible. Like, when you're inside the Bing, they give you that literature that don't have any margins. You just got to write. You know what I mean? Like in paragraph form, I tried to give the reader that experience. I tried to give the reader that experience of what it is to go to the showers or have to go upstairs and shoot the fair one, or or what it is that you're missing at nighttime, maybe at 10 o'clock, but it seems like somewhere totally different because time is like moving extremely slow in there. And
Yeah, you're in a vacuum of time.
absolutely. But I think especially our generation and the generation under us, I think we learn from experience rather than a verbal chastising. I think we learn through the experience, especially the youth. Basically, if
Indeed.
you didn't go through it, I don't know what the hell are you telling me. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me this if you're over here. You know what I mean? Like, you had to been here and then showed me how'd you get there. Then I can listen. So I wrote the I
Absolutely.
wrote that in experience, and I wrote it to disrupt the school to prison pipeline, which is important. You know, the school. I'll say that again for the listeners.
Very
To
important.
disrupt the school to prison pipeline. That's effective. The invisible pipeline that's in every school system district in America, especially dealing with us, the melanated generation.
Indeed.
So, and if you look at the actual book, which is available now at elohkush.com, you can get your signed copy there. But it's also
Yes, sir.
available at Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. But to actually, to reach the youth, I designed the book, this collection of short poems and essays to look like a coloring book almost. The design is the collaborative effort
Yeah.
with a great
Will
illustrator,
Swink.
Will Swink, my man Will Swink. That's my peoples.
Yeah, yo, let's get into that, man. Yo, the cover alone is crazy,
Yeah,
man. The artwork is beautiful,
yeah.
bro. Explain it to him. It's a little kid. He's got the he
He's
got
got
the
the Burger
the
King
Burger King
crown
crown on his
on,
head.
and it was, and I came to Will with the ideal of like, let's do this together. You know what I'm
His
saying?
shirt is inside out.
Absolutely. And that's us when we were young, right? Like, that's us, like, free.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not caring about
Uh-huh.
Jordans, or we're not caring about Balenciaga or Gucci or none of that shit. We're caring about where is my turn on the slide, coming down, sliding into those balls when we were younger. Where is the fun at? Where we running at? Is my crown on my head?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Is the French fries done? Even though that food's not good for you, but you understand that I'm talking about a space and time in our youth.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
so and if I say all that to encompass the word freedom, you know what I'm saying? Because that was
Yeah.
when
The
you're free.
nostalgia of innocence
Absolutely.
is what it put our body comes across,
Well
man.
said, beloved. Well said, brother. That's exactly what I was,
And
my perspective. So the intent was set to attract the youth to the book, but it's really for adults. It looks like a coloring book, but it's really for adults,
indeed.
and it's really to tell them, the youth that can't, like, yo, okay, this experience it was forged in fire, and now I'm out. Now this is the consequences of your actions. Be prepared to deal with things, even in a righteous manner. There's consequences and balances, whatever you striving to do, because the system is wicked. The system is wicked, and so strive to stay out of it, or strive to be the spook that's set beside the door inside the system, and then change it from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? So that's my,
Yeah.
because
I said this a while ago. We don't need no rallies. We need corporate infiltration.
goddamn right.
And I'm not sure if people really understood what I meant back then. This
Mhm.
is quite a while ago.
Mhm.
But I think it's starting to become painfully clear.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yo, that's amazing though, brother. That book is definitely on its way to me.
Mm.
We'll definitely be grabbing a copy of that, and then we'll follow up. You know what I mean?
Thank
Maybe
you,
we'll
beloved.
touch base again, and after I read it, we'll build again.
Thank you, beloved.
But yo, man, they could pick it up at elohkush.com.
Yeah,
It's also available on Barnes and Nobles.
and Amazon. So you go to elokush.com. That's where you're gonna get your signed copy. Because I'm shipping those out directly to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's where you need to go.
that's where you know. There you
Elohkush.com.
go. There you go. That's direct
No
sales.
doubt. Now, bro, I doing my research on you, right? I came across something. Now, obviously, I had heard the name before,
Right.
but I wasn't completely familiar yet. It was actually the good brother Sun Lo that built that bridge for me. You know
Ayat.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You already.
Mhm.
Now, in the process of doing my homework, I came across something that piece of information that one of your influences was the last poets.
Absolutely.
Now, this is an influence we share,
Mhm.
right? So this stuck out to me. I wanted to just speak to you a little bit about that and build on how important it is for MCs today to go back and do their homework and learn about these brothers, because these men are the precursors to what we now call the conscious MC. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
build with me on that real quick.
Um, I'll say Gil Scott Heron. I'll say the Last Poets. I'll say, you know, Marvin Gaye. I'll say, uh, I mean, there's so many names to say. There's so many names to say, but I'll stay in that realm right there. I'll stay right there. These albums were
No
played.
doubt.
These albums, I had the honor of meeting Gil Scott in Washington Square Park in New York.
Wow. Wow.
Severe, and he taught me something. This is at the end of his days, basically, and he taught me something by the same method I was just sharing with you about experience. So one of his experiences was that he was showing me he was severely addicted to heroin. He had all these marks on his arm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who he was at first. The second time I seen him, I knew who he was. So the first time was like I saw him. The second time I met him. And I went home and I ran home. You know, when I was coming back to Jersey, I looked through my mother's records and I said, that's him. That's Gil Scott. And I've heard him previously. And I know what he looked like, but he just looked so different at the time.
Right.
And he shared jewels with me about um, purpose, you know, the message, the gift of being an orator, you know, how does, you know, like the demon of your, the demon of being, excuse me, the slave to your vices, how those vices could become devils to you. Stay away from this, you know, and stay in your artistry. Um, Last Poets, I mean, when I came from California, my mother and, you know, my family bought vinyl from there when we moved back from Compton. Um, those those art covers and that subject matter was like, it was like, how can I explain it? Okay, in simplest form, it's like flicking on a voltage, like the voltage, not the light switch, but like the like power plant voltage, and the
Turning
shit,
the power on. Yeah.
boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it took me it
Absolutely.
took me time to sit down and really grasp the importance of what they were fighting against. What they like. One of my favorite authors is Elrich Cleaver and Jonathan L. Jackson and his bravery and
Yeah.
George L. Jackson, who, you know, who released the dragon when it was time. Like,
No
where's your
doubt.
heart?
No doubt.
Where's your heart for real? Like, where's your heart for real? Not, not this. You know, I, I commend brothers, and I'm not kicking on. I commend brothers that's joining whatever they subject matter of the conscious community, whatever that is. I don't know. I commend it, but the thing about that though, Spit, is like brothers to be trendy or fadding and treating this as a fad. But once you open this, once you open that third, you see the truth regardless. So
Yeah, there's no going back.
somewhere exactly. So somewhere down that line, you're gonna start living it. But to circle back, those brothers are our forefathers in the musical aspect of it. You know, the bravery they had to do,
100%.
what they were pushing through the record labels. Can you imagine the pushback of some of them were getting? Like, nah, you can't put this out,
For
and
sure.
still walked, and still didn't get the true monetary value that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? So
There's this. I mean, yo, they would to pay them brothers back right now. You would have to give them. You would have to give them a percentage of hip hop in total. Everything that came
absolutely,
forth and came out of this thing.
absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, and that.
Um,
I,
yo, I had a friend of mine who was also something like a mentor. He was a little bit older than me, maybe like 4 or 5 years older than me.
okay,
He was a poet,
okay,
right? And he was a Greek brother from Astoria, Queens, named Apostolos.
mhm,
Now he knew Abiodun personally, right? So Abiodun Oyewole is, that's the brother who was locked up for political
Sure.
activism, one of the original founding members of the Last Poets. He used to hold a party in Harlem every year. I believe it was on New Year's Eve. And in the same way, you got to meet Gil Scott Heron. I got to meet Abiodun as well. Unfortunately, I never got to recite nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? He was having a party in his crib. There was mad people there, brother. It was spilling out into the hallway. There was mad MC there,
Good.
artists,
Good.
all types of people.
Good stuff.
They was playing the drums live in the crib, reciting. But the beauty of it all is that I actually got to see that in person. I got to shake his hand. I got to, come in contact with that energy, man, with that level of pioneering and artistry, man. And just since then, I went back and really did my homework. This is 2008 when I got to meet him.
Mm.
But since then, I went and did my homework tremendously. And I just feel like a lot of this gets swept under the rug, man. I advise every MC out there, man, if you're a writer, if you're a poet, you need to go check the Last Poets out. You need to do your homework on what it was they stood for, and do your homework and deep dive on their lives,
Absolutely.
where they went after music, what they're doing now. I mean, this
Absolutely.
this is one of the most incredible stories, man.
Absolutely.
Word up, man. But yo, thank you for that though. I got one more question I usually ask, but before we get into that one, I wanted to spit some of your own lyrics at you
Mm.
and tell me, you know what I mean, what state of mind you were in when you were writing these.
Go
I
ahead,
got I
spit.
got two sections I chose.
Okay. Let's go.
One is ageless wisdom, universal law, self-accountability, admitting my flaws.
Mm. Mm. Where I was at when I wrote that?
Yeah, or what it conveys to you, what it meant to you, what it means now, if it's changed or if you've learned.
No. It's well, yes, it has changed because change is the only constant in the universe. So
Right.
invoke the change or be changed by the change, right? So those words at the time I was reading, I know I was in the esoteric phase of myself, and I was elevating myself into a different thought school. Age is wisdom, universal laws, self accountability, admitting my flaws. I'm hard.
Powerful.
I
Them
said,
last two lines are
yeah, I
powerful.
said I'm horrible at returning. Yeah, okay, yeah. So where I was at was dealing with self accountability because there was something that occurred in my life that I wasn't, that I had to be accountable for. One of the things in accountability is that you have to look in the mirror and say, where can I refine myself in this action? I'm not going to persecute myself anymore. You either apologize for something and then do better, or but just because you apologize to someone or something, whatever you did, that doesn't mean that it changes the relationship. They may say, okay, I accept your apology, but I don't want to deal with anything to do with you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and that
I can't chance it.
exactly. So universal law is the first universal law is the law of freedom. You have to be the law of nature. The first law of nature is to be free, mentally, spiritually, physically, economically. If you can't be free, you can't do anything, right? The second law of nature is self-preservation. And then that means is to preserve self. In order for me to help spit, or in order for me to help any babies or my family, anybody help any of my comrades, I have to be in the best possible position I can be. Self-preservation. You know what
And
I'm saying?
harmony.
Exactly. So that's what I meant in those degrees. I was just, I had a mirror up to myself when I wrote that.
I love those kind of bars, man. I love when the artist is some people call it vulnerability. That's one word you could
Yeah.
use for it. It's not really one I particularly use, but I know that people understand the expression through that word. But I think what it really is showing is a certain level of self-mastery, because being able to feel this way, right? If you having the feeling and the thought like, yo, and having the understanding like, yo, I need to take, self accountability for certain things in my life, take a good look at myself. That's one thing.
Hmm.
But to express it now, to put it down into creation and share it with the rest of the world is I look at that like a certain level of self-mastery, because now not only am I brave enough, you could say, or confident enough to share this with you, it's also that I want you to take
Absolutely.
self-accountability. You know what I mean? I want you to
Absolutely.
learn from this.
This is me.
Word.
When I speak these words, when I say these words into the universe, this is me in the universal automobile, and I'm hitting every pothole there is, and I'm trying to tell you, don't hit that pothole. I just hit that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
So
Fact.
that's what I give
That's
to
a
those.
great way of putting that,
You
brother.
know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. Here's another set of bars. Now this one, this is on I believe this is the first song on the album, Pillarz, I believe. This is Words.
Mm,
Um, yeah. You did a video for it and it was called The Words,
yeah.
but on the album it's
But
just titled
word,
Words,
right?
right?
Correct. Correct.
Bet. Shout out to Recognize Real, man.
Reck
This
Real,
is
my brother Reck Real. What up?
no doubt. No doubt. He and by the way, he bodied that whole album, man. Every
Oh
one of them
man,
beats is off the chain, man.
my God, man,
Beautiful music, man.
my God.
You said you said you in reference to being in the ocean, you said God would never let me drown.
Mhm,
The universe gave me my mission and I can't fuck around.
mhm.
Break these bars down for us.
So,
There's a lot in here.
so in that perspective, when I said God wouldn't let me drown, it was talking about self. You know, and the older gods taught me things um about how to stand on square. You know what I'm saying? Like how to swim my 9,000 miles to shore. You know what I mean? Like what is my experience? What do I have the fortitude to push through? Am I who I say I am? You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
when it's time to show and prove on that in my individual self, we all within the all. We're a collective, right? But in that collective, individual
indeed.
skills has to be shown to be in that tight iron circle. So yeah, and once I recognize my purpose, that goes back to the esoteric of the alchemist. Once I identify my purpose, I walked in that purpose. You know what I'm saying? So that's the universal. The universe gave me my mission. I can't fuck around. I see what I'm supposed to do. I don't have time to be. I don't have time to do anything but straight. It's like those thoroughbreds. Like I'm like this, G. Like you know what I'm saying? And the moment I turn around,
Tunnel vision.
it's like Lot turning around, and I'm Salt, God. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so,
Right.
I gotta keep on the mission. Legacy, generational wealth, uh, uh, education, health, love. Those things take a lot of it to bring it outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's in us, but some people, quote unquote, luck up and just have it. Other of us are meant to go through the grind, go through the fire. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I encompassed in those lines, you know. And I think that Reck gave me such a great canvas to paint on. He gave me a great canvas to paint, and that yeah, it had me express myself totally in that degree.
The album is thank you for that answer, brother. Yo, the album is definitely a marriage. You know what I mean? Sonically, your vocals,
Thank
your
you.
style over that orchestra that he provided, it works perfect together, brother. It's a
Yeah.
real dope project.
Thank you, bro.
Go check that. Pillarz, Reck Real, and Eloh Kush.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you
Oh yeah.
give that 6,000
Oh
spins.
yeah.
Buy it. Go get the book at elohkush.com. Signed copy. That's the only place you get in the signed copy. And tap in with this brother, man. He has a lot to say, and he's got a lot of jewelry, man. Yo, Eloh, is there anything you want to give to people before we get out of here?
Um, New music. By the time the people, new music is coming on the way. Releasing a new single with my brother Glorious from the Angels Clan, my crew. Um, Angels INC. Produced by Ramen Beats. It's called Doogies. 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 It's a slang for us on this side. Like it's your comrade, it's your brother, your doogie. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, okay.
instead of saying the N word, it's like Doogies. You know what I'm saying? Like, and every time we record together, we'll say part one, part two. You know what I'm saying? Which we are paying homage to hip hop, EPMD. Remember Jane, part one, and something apart too. You know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like that every time we get together. That'll be dropping. It's on all
That's what's
stream
up.
platforms April 24th. I want the people to check that. I got plenty of music coming. I got plenty of shows lined up, and I just want the people to support great indie artists, man. That's all I'm saying. Support great independent artists.
Indeed.
People who really have something to say. People who are not, encased in fool's gold. People who have strong authenticity, like myself, like my comrade Spit Gemz and all the other brothers like that. They get
Appreciate that.
busy, G. You know what I'm saying? Like who really, you can see it, you can hear it, you can feel it, and that's all. Just do the one.
No doubt. Yo, Eloh Kush, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for being a part of this.
Bet, man. It's
We will build again soon,
my
man.
honor to be on the platform, beloved.
Honor to have you, man. Peace, brother.
Peace.
Some days I ain't got a dime to my name. It'll be a crying shame if the world never hear my pain before my time expires. So I raise a glass to the opposition. Let's see if they got the heart to finish. The government thinks we dumb, deaf, blind minions. Why you need a space station? What's up in space? And why I gotta wear a mask, breathing CO2 back in my face? Just a poet, scientist, rebel to the core. I'm just a poet.